afternoon, everybody. Today we have a session on LinkedIn. Surprise. My name is Alejandra Camacho. I am a senior client solution manager at LinkedIn Marketing Solutions. That probably tells nothing to you, which is fine. It didn't tell me anything when I interviewed for the job. What I do, actually, is that I have a selection of clients, like Make Salonis, and I help them optimize their marketing strategies on LinkedIn, of course. And today, I'm not going to have those big clients. Today, my clients will be you, individual people. So the idea today is just to take off your journey with a little co-ed, yes, because we are in an airport. So the idea today is to help you all create your personal brand on LinkedIn. That's the idea. Usually when we think about branding or thought leadership, we have two views. We have the business and the individual. A very famous current example would be Tesla with Elon Musk. So we have two ideas. So when we think about the brand and when a business is creating their own thought leadership, they base everything on their first-party data. They think about the research that they did, innovations that they're creating. That's how they create their brand as a business. And when we talk about individuals, we might think about maybe a CEO, or maybe somebody who is an academic, or somebody else like that. But it doesn't have to stop there, because those two ideas, like the example I brought in the beginning, come together in a sense. They come together because your individual brand helps your company, and your company helps you build your individual brand. So ideally, we would have that brand and trust together as a company, and something went off. OK, we're back. And ideally, we would create demand generation through all these campaigns that we're doing and what we're showing on LinkedIn. And of course, we are engaging with talent. That's what LinkedIn usually is about: talent, people, professionals. The thing is, all this together brings us to key data that I want to bring to you. Usually, we would say 59% of people actually consume news on a platform like social media. Usually, we would say that 82% of consumers believe a company more when they are showing as a human, in a sense of they have somebody there to talk about their company. And from those 82, 77% would most probably buy more from these companies because they see them as human. And the thing is, you can find all this together on LinkedIn. We are the platform where security and community come together. We are the #1 community and security for building trust and building your own professional brand. The thing is, when you're talking about all these different people, we actually on LinkedIn have about 1 billion professionals across the board. So everybody who is on LinkedIn is across 65 million companies. So whatever you're looking for, you're probably going to find it on LinkedIn. We have a plethora of different professionals that can talk to you about something, or you can talk to them about something. And that's the idea for today. So this is the groundwork. Now we're going to start to taking off and prepare you to have the best professional profile that you can have on LinkedIn. First of all, I just want to ask, have you ever searched yourself on the web? Yeah, I did myself. To be honest, I share a name with an artist, so I don't have a chance. But my colleague Lara here from LinkedIn, we searched for her name, and one of the first things that came up is her LinkedIn profile. And that might be the potential situation for most of you. Not everybody, if you share a famous name like mine, but maybe somebody else of you, if you actually want to come up in the first searches, you can use your LinkedIn profile. And the reason why is because every single thing that you post, comment, and have on your LinkedIn profile is a searchable field. So anything that you put there will be searchable. For ChatGPT, as we heard before, Google, Bing, whatever you use, is going to be searchable. So when you're creating your profile, think about that. Here I have a QR code, scan it, because I'm not gonna go into detail. There you can scan it and have a big guide on how to, bring your professional thing, your professional profile to the next level. But I want to highlight two things here: your background and your I'm gonna say headline, but it's most like your slogan, your tagline. The top square that I have here is like your digital business card. That's the first thing that people look at. Of course, you have to have a very professional photo of yourself. But what is the background photo telling you? Well, I'm working LinkedIn. It's kind of fresh, very clean. That's more of my vibe. Who am I? What do I do? And of course, my tagline. I'm a Rock Your Profile ambassador. That's what I do right now. I'm showing you how to rock your profile. So that's exactly what I want you to think about when you're creating or you're fine-tuning your profile. Think about what do you want to talk about? What do you want to convey to people? Do you want to attract new contacts, new customers? Do you want to share creative ideas? Do you want to, have a marketing strategy built somewhere? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to attract? That's what we want to do. There is a little thing that maybe some of you didn't catch, which was my name. LinkedIn has a great functionality that is how to pronounce people's names. I've been living in Germany over 10 years, and I still cannot speak a lot of the names. So I use this functionality a lot, and I encourage you guys, if you're doing business internationally, use this. My name is Alejandra Camacho. I bet half of you didn't hear it, which is fine. It's not a normal name in Germany. So use that. Hear how people pronounce their names. And the next business meeting, you can actually say, hey, hello, da, 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 da. And you don't put the foot in your mouth from the beginning, maybe at the end of the presentation, but not at the beginning when you're introducing yourself. So think about that. This is a great conversation starter. Also, when you're doing your LinkedIn communications, hey, I saw that you had on your LinkedIn profile that you are a Rock Your Profile ambassador. Oh, how cool. Can we connect about this? So usually what people put on their slogan, I always say, but that's the headline, is what they are most passionate about, what they are very proud of. So think about that when you're creating that special tagline. But today, we're going to focus on something beyond. So you already have your guide, you're going to check it out later, but today we're going to focus on how to be a thought leader. How can I start? And the way to start is actually using your creative mode. It is actually something important is that I was asked, how much is it? When I was preparing this presentation, that's for free. I think I have to say it. This is a free option. You just have to turn it on your options when you go to your About section down below, turn it on. And what do you have? You have a bunch of new options. Now you have a follow button. So you don't have to know people one-to-one to connect with them. They can just follow you. You have access to collaborate on articles. This is a new version of LinkedIn articles and kind of doing newsletters where special people, thought leaders, can actually contribute to LinkedIn's content. And here, if you contribute enough, you can become almost automatically a top voice in whatever field you want. So you have a little badge. I'm still missing 5 articles, so I don't have the badge. But the other thing that we have is newsletters. You can create your own newsletters. You can have your own kind of live podcast where you have minimal barrier to just jumping and saying whatever you want to say in a very organized way. So those are called audio events. You have your LinkedIn Lives where you can create your own webinars. Whatever you want to talk about, they can be live, they can be pre-recorded. There are a bunch of different options that you can have. And all of this, again, for free. So you can do this. You can utilize all these different options to bring your thoughts to the masses on LinkedIn. Okay, now I told you, okay, then you can do this, you can do that, but okay, where do I start? Okay, we are gonna start with the when, the what, and the how. When do I post? Whenever. That's not what you wanna hear, but really, whenever. Test it. test when your audiences are there. We do have some data when LinkedIn is the most, active and where people are more interactive in that. I love this slide because it's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Those are the peak days. What time? In the morning, in the afternoon. Think about your own behavior when you're commuting. When are you looking at LinkedIn? When are you logging in? When you're at your coffee break, between meetings, something like that. Maybe on the way off to work or before a meeting with a client. That's when you are on LinkedIn. But also on the weekends. Maybe you want to read something that you kind of skim through and you really want to dive in. That could be something for the weekends. Think about your own behavior because usually we are not that special. How I behave is probably how you also behave. So that could be very helpful. Now we go into the what. What do we want to talk about? As I said before, we have over 1 billion professionals on LinkedIn. So what does it mean? You can find investors. You can find future talent, your colleagues, clients, partners. So whatever you're talking about, think about who is your audience. Who are you talking to? And that's a great start to know what are you going to talk about. And not only, I'm going to talk about this and that, it also has to be something that awakens an emotion. What do we want to bring people? The idea behind having this post is to have a reaction, not only just to say it. We have to say something new that is inspiring. For example, I could talk to a client or colleagues, but let's say clients, and we want to celebrate a new business that we closed together. That's how the connection works. We want to inspire some colleagues or team members. That's the connection that I want to build. I want to bring new inspiration because we have a new technology. That's the emotion that I want to convey. Think about when you're creating the what do I want people's reaction to be? And with this, we also have very different formats, like I said before. We have videos, we have a bunch of stuff. And this is where we end up in the how. How do we post this? Well, we have the newsletters. This is an amazing letter I recommend to you if you are interested in AI. We also have the CEO of Make, who actually is bringing a lot of emotion, how he's bringing his team and how they are expanding. We have the CTO products. They have a document post where they are showing the new roadmap. These are the stuff that we want to see. What do you want to read from others is what you also want to post. We also have a live webinar from the CTO of LinkedIn showing all the new features that we have, organic, paid, sales, whatever you want. So that webinar is actually live on LinkedIn, and you can still see it. And that's the fascinating thing about the LinkedIn Lives. They don't stop there. They stay there. And you can actually continue the conversation. But the thing is, sometimes we have problems coming up with ideas. I know I do. So we have, this is also for free, Draft with AI, because sometimes we have writer's block. We don't know what to talk about, where to start. Sometimes a blank page is a little bit intimidating. So what you can do is try to start the post, and this is already going to pop up. This is nothing super fancy that you have to search on LinkedIn. You just try to post, and there the assistant is going to say, should I help you? And you say, yes, please, save my life. And the idea here is that they say, OK, I want to talk about marketing strategies in B2B. Oh, OK, fantastic. What topics do you want to, what exactly? Well, I want to talk about how fast-growing companies use LinkedIn to generate leads, and I have this idea, and this is how I want to structure it, and the AI is going to help you build that, whatever you want, a post or an article, whatever you want to do. And the idea here is that not that the AI is going to write it for you, is that you have a base, and then you change the voice, you correct it, and it's going to facilitate a little bit better how you are going to create the post. Because sometimes it's easier to edit than come up with an entire new idea. So you can utilize this. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention now that I'm talking out loud right now, is that with the creator modus, and I'm going to go back because this is important, is here. You can see we have topics. You can choose your topics. What do you want to be a thought leader of? This is very important for you to understand what am I going to talk about? I usually talk about LinkedIn, surprise. I talk about B2B marketing, marketing strategy, and Latinas in business. So those are the topics that you're gonna find on my page. And that's how you can actually also indicate to your audiences what you are about. So this is actually very important. Apologies that I forgot. But this is very, very important. You can use this also as a base for drafting your AI assisted blogs or whatever you want to do. So I'm going to jump back forward and go to how we really bring you to the next level. We already talked about the how, the when, and so on. That's, to be honest, the basics. Now we talk about how do you differentiate yourself. It is by finding your niche. What are you talking about that other people are not talking about? What is your expertise? What are you good at? What does your audience want to know? And like I said at the beginning, what is not everybody talking about this? What is the on-top opportunity over here? We have 3 examples, very different from each other, because they are different audiences. We have a very flashy Gary Vee talking about, startups and blah, 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 that's his style. We have also Bloomberg, very traditional, very, to the point, very serious, like a lot of tradition in Bloomberg. And we also have a founder in Germany that is Alexander Graf, and he is very German in the way he's doing his posts, a lot of text. Incredibly enough, he has one of the highest engagement rates. So don't be afraid to be yourself, and that's the thing. This person has been, all these 3 have been having this type of posts in their entire portfolio for a long time. And now, with time, they're becoming thought leaders in their fields, and they're not changing their style. Be you, be authentic. Because the audience was already there for a reason. Now you just want to expand more of those. And a good way to find that commitment and level and coming together with your company is to see what are the values that your company actually, it's gone again. Whatever. Okay, so here we are. Ideally, we work for a company that shares the values that we have, some. So a good way to combine those 2 is to see what are the values that a company that I work for has and what do I share. For example, we have here Salonis. We are Salonis figure. So let's take the example. Good client, fantastic partners of ours for Make. And we think about what do they have? Oh, they talk a lot about sustainability. Okay, that's kind of my topic. They talk about this and that. Yeah, that's kind of my topic too. How do I connect as a partner, as an employee, as a consumer to those values? And bring those together in a post, in a video, in whatever we want. So that's kind of the thing. When you're CEO of a company or a PR people from the company, look within. What are our values? What do we stand for? What are our thought leader topics? And you can share that with your colleagues, with your employees, and let them open their minds and say, okay, I agree with our company on this, and then I go beyond with this and that and the other topic. That's the best way to do it. And the other thing here that we have is that when we go together with those 2, we actually increase our trust in the company, and if we connect the company with us, we increase our own trustworthiness. For example, if I come here, on any LinkedIn, you probably would hear about what I'm saying, but not too much. You have weight on what LinkedIn is saying. The same way around, LinkedIn trusts in me as a thought leader, as a Rock Your Profile, branding, B2B marketing, trusts in me to convey this message. So this is how these two come together as a thought leader. We also think about the expert and the logic that you bring to your posts, your conversations. I have an expertise over decades on B2B, I don't look at, but I have decades in B2B marketing with large companies. This is the expertise that I bring to the table that be connected with the logic that LinkedIn works together with this and that. That's how we work together. And lastly, I am being myself. That's something that everybody has to be here. Be yourself. Don't be anybody else. Anybody else is already taken. Be yourself when you are talking to people on the platform. And the idea, of course, you can use AI. We talk about this. This is the topic of the next 3 days. But at the end of the day, what we want to consume as human is another human. So be humble, be honest, and be yourself. But at the end of the day, be human when you're doing this. When you're posting, when you're connecting your company with you, you with the company, try to make it your niche, try to make it yourself authentic, and try to make it human. At the end of the day, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. That is not something that today I told you you're gonna start commenting, you're gonna start posting, and tomorrow you're gonna have 5,000 followers. That's not how LinkedIn works. I wanna burst your bubble. It's gonna take time. But the thing is, be consistent. Because the thing on LinkedIn is that people trust people and experience. Talk about what you wanna say, what you know, and find that thing that nobody else is talking about. And if you need a little bit of help, I have another guide for you. And this is the last one, so we're gonna land all this and finish it up, and maybe you have some questions, which actually we didn't prepare for questions, but I see that I have time. So I know I have 2 minutes. Okay, so please scan this QR code. And with this, you're gonna have a LinkedIn Creative Guide on how to do all the different formats that I talk about. It's gonna give you help, tips, and how you're really going to start that creative journey, because sometimes we need a little bit help. Not everybody's very brand savvy. So sometimes we need just oh, what should I talk about? This format, I don't know. So you can use this guide for you. So please feel free to reach out to Lara, who's on the back, if you have any questions, or to me. You can connect with me, follow me, whatever you want to do. We can chat later. And if you need anything, just ask in the community on LinkedIn. Find people that have similar topics as you, the hashtags on the top, and just say, hey, you're a Latina in business. Let's connect and have a conversation on whatever we want to talk about. So thank you, everybody, and I hope to see your profile soon.